7:14 on a Friday. Time for This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zdora. Bob and Linda, of course, the award-winning Z-Team at Century 21 LeMac Real Estate for all your real estate needs. The Z-Team. Check them out at retiredarkansas.net.
That's the best place to start. Retiredarkansas.net is a great portal for people. We've had people in that have been on there for years, and they'll call in and say, we're ready. And that leaves a good feeling in your heart to know that the people have stayed with you, that they've found the material that you're putting out there, showing the different houses, showing the area and stuff, that they have stayed with that they are interested in it, and that of all the decisions, all the places that people can pick to want to live at, they chose to live here. Mm-hmm. And that's a great thing. If your house is for sale, go outside, take a look, because you've got a lot of debris laying around with all this rain and everything, all the leaves that have washed down the hill and are stacked up in front of the door, and the gutters and the oak, those stringy things, whatever they are, from the oak trees that fall down and sit on top of the gutters. You want to try to get that stuff off of there as best you can. If you can't do it, have somebody come on and do it. Find some kid with a bad report card. Let him do it. You may want to get under the house if you can, and just make sure that there's no issues underneath there. You don't want to open the door to the crawl.
Water.
No standing water. You want to make sure you don't have mushrooms growing from your floor joists in there because of the moisture buildup in there. We've had a lot of rain, so you want to get in there, take a look, and if it's dry and if you got pea gravel in there or plastic in there, stuff like that, you want to make sure, as you say, no standing water, no moisture. You can open it up. You'll get a whiff. You'll know right away if you get that mildewy type smell, and you're going to have to address that. And whether you're for sale or not, you want to address that, because you don't want to have issues that are going to come back and end up costing you money down the line, whether it's reconstruction or remediation, whatever it is that needs to get done farther along. The sooner you can get ahead of something like that, and simple things. If you've got a leak, get it fixed. Get a washer. There's a ton of handymen around that can help if you're not able to, and then get a couple jobs together and make it worthwhile for you to hire them to come out and get a little more bang for your buck instead of having a guy come out and change one washer. That's going to be an expensive afternoon. But if you're going to get them to do 3, 4, 5 things that you've been putting off and thinking about, and like I say, it doesn't matter if you're listed or thinking of selling or not. You want to be ahead of the preventive and continuing maintenance involved in a house.
If it's even in the back of your mind, starting the maintenance now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because if you're thinking about it, then you've noticed it, and so there's something there to that's going on. Leaks in the bottom of shower pans are a big thing, because it dries out. Even though it's a shower, they dry out and the water starts to leak, and it leaks down into the crawl space. And we run into that a lot with the home inspections. You would never think of that, but that's the kind of thing that you have somebody come out, take a look, just go over the house, because you live there. You don't want to run into either environmental or health issues for yourself either. You want to be able to enjoy your home. You want to make sure that everything that you're doing is to help you live in your house. And then when the time comes to sell it, then that's different. Then, you're going to do things a little differently. You're going to take a look, because the home is going to be inspected. And we've actually, this past couple of weeks, we've had some great home inspections. They've gone very well, and that's a good thing. The biggest issues that we're running into has been with the financing, where the local banks here have passed everything and said, yep, you're good to go. We can close on this date, just as you've written in your contract, this legally binding contract that's binding on all parties, unless you work for HUD or for RD or things like that with different federal agencies. Then that legally binding contract is really nothing more than a strong suggestion. And so you think that you're going to close on this day. You think that and you find out that, now it's going to be another 2 weeks because it didn't get to somebody else's desk to be approved. Well, these are people's lives here. Mm-hmm. These are people, all real estate are like dominoes. Somewhere along the line, with Adam and Eve, I think the first domino started to fall. And every transaction, whether it's a cash transaction or not, is generally based upon something selling someplace else.
Right.
And when that starts to happen, that the first guy in our chain of 3-4 things, when they can't close on time, well, now that means that they can't buy this house on time, which means when the seller of that house can't buy the next house. And you get people with
You
U-Hauls.
got dominoes stretched all the way to Cleveland.
Well, exactly. And it doesn't matter. It's just in the area here. I mean, people coming from other areas, but we've had a lot of issues with getting these funds done in a timely manner. Everybody's ready to go. The bank sends it through. They're all good to go. Oh, wait, now we're not. Oh, wait a minute. What happened? You said we were good.
Don't that drive you up the wall?
Yeah, it does. It's not just driving people around. And so, I mean, we live with these people. We are active in this, and the frustration factor, and you try to do what you can to remediate it and make it as soft as you can. But I don't know what we're going to do, because if they're not checking, if the G who's in charge of some of these different types of loans, if they're not checking them until a week before closing, well, then it wouldn't really matter if I gave it 30 days or 45 or 60 days.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to figure something out, and it's going to be partly on the banks to shake whatever cages they have to shake to say, look, guys, give us a number. We need this many days. Whatever that number is, we need this many days, and then fine. Then everybody will adjust to it, and we'll go from there. And then there's some new regulations that are coming in August that is going to change things again. Because
what? More government regulation?
Your tax dollars at work. People sitting in an office trying to justify their job.
I can hardly wait.
So I can wait, but it's not going to matter how long Bob wants to wait. It's going to happen. So these are just some of the things that when you deal with the realtor that can help to explain the situation to you, and because it's frustrating. It's frustrating for me dealing with it every day, and for our clients to deal with it once every 10, 15, 20 years, as the case may be, and to try to explain it to them and how the process works. I mean, that's the value, one of the main values of dealing with a realtor, and not just trying to do this on your own and going, what are these people doing? Because it's a little frustrating. It is frustrating.
Sounds like it.
Oh, man.
You got brick marks on your forehead from it against
From
the
banging
wall.
it. Yeah. Sometimes they do.
Hey, I got a quick question.
Yes, sure.
In all of your times of showing property, have you noticed a large amount of snakes out there? Have you seen any?
There's been a lot of snake talk. Yes, there has been. There's, I think this is partly because of all the moisture in the ground.
Water, yeah.
And they're just coming up. They're looking for places to relocate and try to dry out. And it's the season for them too. So they're looking to do eggs and things like that, as snakes do. So they're looking for a nice place to nest up. In places where they would normally be, maybe a little deeper in the woods, they can't be because of the moisture.
2 days ago, we had a little black snake out here
in
front of on the concrete right here at the front door.
Yeah, looking for a dry spot.
Looking for a dry spot.
Just trying to work on his tan a little bit.
Yeah, I've been seeing it on Facebook. I mean, even in the city park.
Yeah.
Gentleman says, "Oh my goodness."
Well, there's a lot of, you got to remember, there's a lot of wildlife in the city itself. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of these creeks and other things that run through. There's little wooded areas that we really don't think about. We're a city. Yeah, but we're a city surrounded by woods and forests and bushes and, the waterways that run through, the different, like I said, the different creeks and canals that run through. Well, those are all natural highways for wildlife.
I had a huge black snake in my backyard out by the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. They're eating mice and things like that. You want to be nice to those black snakes. You want to be nice to them.
Called a black rat, Arkansas black rat.
Yeah.
Arkansas. Dennis Dunderdale was here this past week from Arkansas Game and Fish. He's a good one, I said, I patted him on the head and said, go around the side of the barn.
Don't stand out here and scare Mom. That's the bigger thing.
Don't scare Dale. A snake don't have to bite me to give me.
He just got to see. That's right. He would just stand there. Yeah, they're just laying there, giving you the look is enough to get your attention. Yeah, that's true, because you just kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, that doesn't belong here. This isn't a Tarzan movie. That was that snake doing, not laying out here on my driveway.
Hey, that's not a stick either.
Yeah,
I'm not Moses.
They shine a little bit. So, but no, snakes are good because that means that they're getting the other critters out of the area that are, nuisance pets, and there's no shortage of those around in some of these places too. But we like I say, we think of ourselves as a metropolitan area, but there's snakes and foxes and any number of critters that are around.
Even a little year-old bear, year-and-a-half bear in Indian Creek not too long ago.
Yeah.
Now it's the skirts of Indian Creek.
Because that's right. I mean, just right when you're looking. The reason this place looks so good is because of that.
You bet.
All those trees and things.
Yep.
This past week, there were 47 new listings came on, 10 parcels of land, a commercial building. 47. That's not right. Should have been 34 homes came on at a range of $12,000 to $349,000. Average price coming on the market was $147,000. There were 37 sales, 6 parcels of land, 3 commercial properties. The homes that sold in a range of $27,000 to $525,000. The average sale price was $129,000. The average listed price when they came on the market was $137,000. With 168 days on market, it was $3.6 million in closed residential sales this week.
How much?
3.6, down a little bit from last week, but that's still it's a nice number for a week. There's still 61 pendings, 23 properties expired, 36 had price changes. There's some really nice houses out there that are priced well, that are ready to go. There's some nice vacants. There's some nice occupieds. It's just the showings are up. We get the little slips in our mailbox, and we get the calls from the agent saying, well, I'm going to show so-and-so or show this or that. We put a couple houses on this week, and we had 3 showings yesterday.
Wow.
So it's the right house in a good location, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 5 acres, got a real nice shop with cement floor on it. It's kind of secluded, but it's not too far out. That's what people want, So and that went out to a ton of places. And we listed a little house over in Pebble Creek. Great little house. And they've had like 35 hits on the internet already, people getting it. So that's a good sign. There's 1,023 homes listed on the MLS, which is actually up 1 from last week. 1,023, 466 in Mountain Home, 58 in Bull Shoals, 65 in Lakeview, 15 in Cotter. For 2014, there were 301 sales year to date for $34.7 million. For 2015, there's 333 sales for $40.2 million. So that's an appreciable number. It's starting to work its way up, but the supply is still pretty big. I mean, that's probably 3.5, 4 years of inventory up there. So the prices are coming up, but they're not like screaming up. But they're not falling as they have in the past. I wanted to thank Reese Tubbs from the office and Marcia Taylor and Skylar from the White River team for deals that we did this week. Skylar brought us a buyer, and we were able to co-op with the White River team and purchasing a house for some clients. And a similar thing, Gwen, and a shout out to Gwen Tish over at First Security, who did a phenomenal job of getting these people into this house in short order and getting all of the paperwork.
She does a great job.
Gwen's a great girl. She really is. And,
over First
like
Security,
said, local banks, all of them. FNBC's got hot dogs and hamburgers today.
They do.
They have a little customer appreciation, so if you want to get some lunch,
cool.
FNBC right up the street here. Stop by there.
Yep. Life is good.
It is.
We got a minute left. Tell us about the retiredarkansas.net website here.
Retiredarkansas.net is a great portal for people.
Tool.
It's a tool that we use to show the properties. The 2 houses that I just mentioned, they didn't have. The Paragon was closed down over the holiday. I mean, you got to hit somebody to input the stuff, and so we had it on the webpage, and we sent it out to people all throughout the country that we knew were looking for those type of homes. So we got kind of a jump on the Paragon because it just wasn't. I mean, I signed up there, people could make sign calls on it, but just to get that information out there was really big, and it's a great tool. It's a great tool for the area, and we encourage people to take a look. Retiredarkansas.net. There's a bunch of contact us. You can get hold of us. We can help you out with your different whatever situation you may be in.
And phone number locations.
Phone number is 870-405-0793. We're at the Century 21 office across the street from McDonald's, or stop by the one out by by Walmart. I want to invite everybody to take a look at Marion County, Arkansas Republican.org. It's the website that they put together for the Marion County Republican Committee out there. Take a look. There's some great information on there as well, and we encourage you to come and take a look and pass it on to your friends.
We'll be right back.